Hello, Sociology of Sexualities students, and welcome to our unit number 6, step-by-step guide. Again, as I did last unit, based on feedback from the survey, I'm dividing up the videos so that there will be a step-by-step informative guide in task number 1 for the remaining units, similar to what we have been doing, but I've separated out the content, right? So the content overview will be a separate video in task 3. So that for those of you who are like, you know what, I got the steps down, I just want the content, you can jump to that. For those of you who still really do rely on the step-by-step, that's cool, that's why I continue to do this. So let's go over and take a look at Blackboard together. The Sociology of Sexualities homepage, again, where everything you need is here on the homepage. Scrolling down, and you will see that unit number 6 has opened. Unit number 6 runs from November 1st through November 12th, with multiple tasks due on different days. So you'll still do the discussion board post mid-unit, and then your quick facts check-in and your one-sentence summary at the end of the unit. This theme, briefly, I'll get more into that in the content video. We're looking at undocu-queer fierce advocacy for justice. So what does it mean to be undocumented, particularly in the United States, and being LGBTQ? So you are an undocumented LGBTQ person in the United States, and it has gotten shortened to this phrase undocu-queer and undocu-queer rights because queer people of color who are undocumented have very specific issues and face additional stigma and violence, when engaging with various systems of social control. I also want to remind folks, we're always using our intersection analysis here, right? We often hear the word, undocumented. Sometimes you hear words like unauthorized. Being someone in the United States, but you do not have United States citizenship, but you also perhaps are missing those papers like a visa or something, that's a civil offense. That is not a criminal offense. And so sometimes people like to use the I word, which is actually very inflammatory. And so, using words undocumented tends to be what the people who are in that space and place prefer to be identified as. So those are the words that we use and honor. You could think about this in terms of how the United States is very citizenist. We tend to believe that citizens are superior to non-citizens, that there's these unearned privileges that come with that assumption, and it's really built into the social fabric of our lives. Okay, so this step-by-step guide will be here. Again, take good notes on your readings and on the supporting materials. This is 2 weeks worth of work, so spread it out for yourself in your calendar. Task 2 is the discussion board post. I suggest, again, that you finish it on the 5th, but of course, which is the end of the first week of the unit, but if you need to take that weekend and do it on the 8th, that's fine. You'll click on your group, and you'll find one that says unit number 6. So we're getting down to the last few here. Remember, for the discussion board posts, it's about you exploring sociology of sexualities through other venues and other topics, because I simply cannot cover every single topic that we could potentially cover in this class in one semester. So the discussion board posts on the social medias that I've asked you to look at and follow and think through is a way for you to be able to do that. Task 3 has everything I want you to read and watch and hear. I start with 2 videos, and then a reading, and then another video, and then a reading by 2 professors, one who is actually here at John Jay, Dr. Pastrana, and Dr. Battle, who is part of the CUNY Graduate Center. The 2 of them, along with Dr. Harris, wrote a book. I'm only asking you to read the intro to the book, called Community Connection Among Queer People of Color. And their point is that queer people of color are connected, but not comfortable. So as you read through this, I want you to think about what that means. Who's connected and how? What does it mean to not feel comfortable? Right? And then I also want you to just explore the project that these professors did. The Social Justice Sexuality Project was the first, and I believe still the only, national survey of LGBTQ people of color. And that's pretty intense that we still don't have a lot of data or ongoing data. It's not seen as data that is worthy of funding. And so, doctors, Pastrana and Battle and Harris and others were really at the forefront of pushing this through. So you can read a little bit more about what they did. They have their executive summaries, which are always short when it's an executive summary, broken up by racial and ethnic identity. You can kind of see what other academic things they've published off of it, because that's what academics do. The first video that I'm asking you to look at is in Spanish, so I've also hyperlinked to YouTube's auto-translate function, so that way if you want it to be translated to a different language you can, or you can just sit with and listen to it in Spanish, even if you can't fully understand it or really can't understand many words at all, but you'll feel the feeling of it, right? It's poetry. The other videos are from an organization called Make the Road New York that is an organization for immigrant rights and undocumented immigrant rights. I'm also asking you to read this piece about Joteria identity and consciousness, reclaiming that word, Joteria, an excerpt from another chapter. And then there's optional reads down here in case you were wondering about certain terms that get used, like testimonial, or why we would say Latinx or even Latine as two alternatives to the alternatives to Latina, Latino, right? Like, how do we do something that is gender neutral? Then you'll follow it up with your 2 assignments, the quick facts check-in, that's 3 questions, and your 1-sentence summary. For this one, I'm asking you to answer the question, what does undocuqueer mean for whom, when, where, how, and why? Again, do it at the end of the unit, but take the weekend if you need to. Again, remember, I'm compiling everyone's responses into our sheets, and you'll be referring back to these as you continue on with other future assignments, as we have been. One other quick reminder, if you haven't already completed it yet, your second assessment worksheet is available. It was embedded in unit number 5, but it's also available here on the side, and it's due on Friday, November 5th. So it was assigned at the end of one. It was assigned at the end of one unit for you to complete, by the middle of the next unit. These are the big, high stakes, high points assignments that show me your ability to reflect on what you've learned, how to revise, how to analyze what others are saying and put it in perspective based on our readings. So that's the quick step-by-step guide for unit number 6 for our class, Sociology of Sexualities. If you have any questions, please reach out via email, via text, via Remind. I am here to help. I'm happy to meet with you. I've been meeting with some of you, and it's been really great. Anything that you might need to, help you succeed in the last, 6 weeks or so of the semester. It's going by very quickly. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be in touch.